Amber first came here, it was a shit show. Yeah, and so like she'd come in and, okay, and then the following Monday, pick up a white chip. And then come in and 2 Mondays later, pick up a white chip. And it's not to say that I didn't like her, but I had known Tony for years before that. And so I was like, thinking to myself, if you bring Tony back out, I'm gonna beat your ass. And then, and I couldn't figure out what Tony was doing. So, and then all of a sudden, Amber got it. She got it. And then I saw what Tony saw down under all those nasty layers that we hang out. You're asking me to speak up. That's a first. So anyway, I never in a million years would think Tony could help me in sobriety. I mean, I've got like so many more years than her, you know. Well, let me tell you, Amber sends me a meditation every morning that just calms me. Every Sunday, she has learned how to master sound bowls, and like every Sunday, I can't wait. I just cannot wait, because she does it with the love and the compassion that she has learned in these rooms. And she's full of love, and she's full of compassion. And I can't tell you how blessed I am to have this woman in my life, because I love her dearly. I love you, Amber.
Full room. All of my favorite people, though. So I'm thankful you're here tonight. I'm Amber. I'm definitely an alcoholic and an addict. My sobriety date is June 4th, 2020, and I'm forever grateful for that. I hope I don't cry all the time. You know, it has been an incredible 5 years. Incredible. I was born in Oklahoma. Most of my addiction happened in Oklahoma. Before I moved here in 2018. I was in addiction from the age of 15 all the way to 41, my entire life. And, you know, I used to hate that. I used to just hate that because, like, why? Or I used to question, like, why? Why? Because I didn't wake up one day wanting to be an alcoholic and addict. I don't question that anymore. It's a blessing to be where I am today. I'm grateful that I'm an alcoholic and addict, and that I am able to, you know, share my experience, strength, and hope with many people. You know, when I was younger, my family's a bit crazy, so they're a bit toxic. But I lived in that for so long that I didn't know any different. I was sexually abused at the age of 7. I have been raped. I had some mental health going on, and all the things that, you know, you really should deal with. But I didn't. I didn't know how to deal with that because I had a family that didn't take that time to help me deal with that. Back in those days, it was pretty much shoved under the rug. And I really don't know if they knew how to deal with it themselves. I don't know. I don't know. I really think they didn't at the time. So, you know, I went through a lot of deep depression at a very young age. I was sad, and I was hurting. I was really hurting. And so I had my first drink at the age of 13. My mom, who drank a little bit then, but she would always leave her leftover strawberry daiquiris laying around. So that's what I did. I went behind her and drank all of those. And, you know, I loved it. But, you know, my addiction didn't take off until probably about the age of 15. My real father was an alcoholic. My stepfather was an alcoholic who was very verbally, mentally, physically abusive. And you know, I hated them. Like, I hated my family. And I always questioned them, why? Why did you put me in this family? Because I don't like them, you know. And, you know, today I know different. I live very far away from them, so I don't have to be in that chaos anymore. But I hated them. And I remember at one point, you know, my mom I was in school, and she was dragging me in the evenings, like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, to get my dad out of the bars. And it was just, I didn't understand that, you know, but here I go, you know, she was chasing a man. So, you know, so I was very, very angry. I battled, you know, food addiction. I battled all the above addiction. You know, I had I don't know, it was something that I needed to have control over, because everything in my childhood was out of control. Like, I was not even old enough to, you know, take control of any of that. Like, those were the people that were supposed to protect me, and they did not. I was very angry for a very long time at my mother, my aunt, all of them for not protecting me, or not at least helping me, you know. And you know, it continued with my family like this, even up till now. You know, there are things that still go on, patterns of sexual abuse, and they're still shoving it under the rug, with my nieces, nephews, whatever, and I just don't understand that. Because at this point, you know, you should know better. You know, you should know better. I excused it back in the day when it was, you know, people didn't know what to do with that kind of stuff. But I was in addiction for a very long time. I mean, I was drugs, alcohol, but for a long time I didn't believe I was an alcoholic, because I could put that stuff down. But I also didn't see the progression until later. I could put it down. I had my daughter. I didn't drink. I didn't drug or any of that. So I didn't think I had a problem for a very long time. And then it progressed. It progressed very fast. I was stealing. I mean, I was a liar. I was a cheat. I was a thief. I was, you know, a horrible human being. Like, really, I was. I mean, I know y'all can't believe that, but, you know, I was a horrible human being. You know, I stole from them. I was unemployable. Like, I couldn't hold a job to save my life for a very long time. I just, I didn't care. Like, I didn't care about anything or anyone. You know, I was I had my daughter. Best thing ever to happen. And I let go of that little girl. I didn't lose her. I gave her away. You know, it was really hard. I don't mean to talk about outside issues too much, but I had already progressed to the needle, all the things, the hard drugs. You know, one thing that I'll never forget is when she was younger, she was probably about 2, I had been up for days and days and days on end, so long, and I fell asleep on the couch. And when I came to, which was, I don't know when, hours later, or could have been a day later, I don't know. She was running around in her diaper. She had poured her goldfish down the sink, so it was dead. she had a knife in her hand because she was trying to cut some cheese because she was hungry. And that has been one of the hardest things to get past. Because I loved that little girl with all that I had, but I could not take care of her the way that she deserved to be taken care of. So my aunt stepped in, and she got control issues and all the things. So, one thing I do appreciate about that aunt is that she never, no matter where I was, running and gunning, she always made sure that that child stayed in my life. So I'm grateful for her for that. She took her, she did not, I didn't lose my rights or anything like that, but I never got that child back in my home with just me. I wanted to so bad. And I wanted to end this cycle of addiction, but I just could not. I could not quit. I drank and used over happy, sad, depressed, whatever was happening in life. It was my solution. And it stayed my solution for many, many years. I was in jail more times than I can count. I went to court a lot but I always got a slap on the wrist. So I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna happen that way again. It did not. I was sitting in the courtroom and they told me you have 9 months flat, and you heard the breath leaving my body, like I couldn't even believe it. And I did 4 of that 9 months, and I came out. It was okay for a little bit, but I had been in jail in every county around where I am from. Every cop in Oklahoma knows me. And that's not to be proud of. And I racked up a lot of fines, a lot of money, a lot of tears, and every time I was in that jail cell, I said, okay, we're gonna do it different. I'm gonna do this different if you just get me out of this. Get out. I had the chance to do it different, but I did not. I went right back to running and gunning as fast and hard as I could. I was on the outskirts of AA in Oklahoma. I have a lot of wonderful friends back home in the program, but I'm going to tell you, they thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. I planned to die young. I knew it. I knew I was going to die. I already picked out my funeral song, all the things. Like, I knew I was dying. And, my family has been, in the midst of all this entire time. I knew I was going to die. That's what I know. And I didn't care, and I was ready because I was so sick of living the way I was living. So fast forward, I was, sticking my toe in the rooms and da-da-da-da, but I just could not stop. I would get a sponsor because she was pretty. That was a thing. I was in all kinds of different relationships. I was dating married women, if that was a whole thing. And I was like, oh my God. And I look back at this now and I'm thinking, what the hell? But that was a thing because I didn't want to focus on me. I wanted to do everything but focus on me and deal with the trauma, the pain that had happened when I was younger. My lifestyle was treatment. Okay, first I would go to the mental health unit, so institutions. Well, there's jails, and then I go to institutions, and then, I go in and out of treatment. I've been in and out of treatment like 10 times. And I learned something from each of them, but it still didn't stop me. It still did not stop me from doing what I always knew to do. And then I almost did complete the death part. I will share that I had a spiritual awakening in the hospital. I coded one night. And I had, around my hospital bed, I saw all of my family members that had passed away before me. So, you know, I was in that for a long time. And then all of a sudden I woke up the next morning and there was this nurse at the end of my bed that said, I've been praying for you all night. And that was a moment. It was a small moment of clarity. And then I went back out and did the same shit again. I went out and did exactly what we do. I would like to say that's where I stopped, but it was not. You know, so I hopped around some more, and I ran and gun, and I would be out for months and years at a time. So, you know, my life, and I don't want to stay too long in the drunk-a-log because life is beautiful today. So I want to go there. But, you know, that's what happened in my life. I was in that hospital that night. My kidneys, everything was shutting down. Everything. I could no longer use the bathroom. I couldn't drink, I couldn't eat, I couldn't anything, and I hadn't eaten or drinking in weeks before that even happened. So the addiction progressed so badly that I wasn't even getting the loaded anymore. I was immediately going into psychosis, and that was some scary stuff. I was always seeing snakes. It was very terrifying. I would stay in psychosis. I'm telling you, I heard voices probably even a year longer after I was sober here. So, you know, that was my life. That was the life for me. I was in a ton of sober living houses, but I always got kicked out because I couldn't stay sober. I didn't ever unpack in them because I knew I wasn't going to be there long. You know, and I was looking, and I look at this now, and I'm like, you know, that's insane. You know, it's just insanity. Going back and doing the same thing over and over again. And so, you know, my aunt was a bit of an, she kept letting me come back in the home. I don't know why I remember this, but I hadn't eaten in so long. I ate a whole stack of brownies this high on a plate because I was so hungry. But that is one, I don't know, it sticks out to me because I'm thinking, you know, I get out and I did the same thing even after that. After I got home and had a warm bed, a warm shower, and it was just my life. And I didn't want to find any other solution at this time. I wasn't ready. And I wish I wouldn't have stayed out as long, but I don't think I'd be who I am today if I didn't. So fast forward, you know, I moved here in 2018. No idea how incredible my life would get here. I moved away from my family. Like I was literally gonna slit my wrist if I didn't get out of there because I was dying. I knew I was dying. I was like, you all are going to bury me. It is a fact. So I left. I knew like 3 people here when I got here. But I'll tell you, those 3 people showed me the way, showed me these rooms. And I had probably about 7-day relapses. I was out for a day, which is unheard of with me. Like when I'm gone, I'm gone. And you know, some things happened here in the beginning, and it's just like, I went back to the same solution. I had sponsors here, one of which is in this room, that like to kill me. But I will never forget her for that. I will never forget her for the love she showed me. I went in and out, got some white chips, you know, all the things, a lot of white chips. And I thought maybe the solution was gonna work here, my same old solution. And then the last day, I was like, Amber, what are you doing? You know, I had, you know, a beautiful wife now, that never left me through any of this here, when she very much should have, because I wasn't really trying to know a better solution, because I thought the old crap was going to work, and I was like, Amber, what are you doing? You know, it slapped me in the face, like, you're trying to do the same stuff that you just ran away from, you know, or left, and stop, you know, I wanted to stop so bad. And so I came in here, back to the meeting, and for one last time of, you know, being out there, as Helen says, I got it one day. I literally surrendered, and I can't imagine my life different today. All I know is that if you surrender and come into this program and really get in this deal and really do it, your life starts to change. You know, no, it didn't change overnight, but it got better. It got better than any day that I was out there. So I did this, and it was a hard first 30 days, the hardest. And you know, and I got busy. I got a sponsor, and I got busy working the steps. And I'm going to tell you, all these women in this room have saved my life. Love my life. They are here no matter what. I mean, I have such a big family from 3 people I knew when I got here that I cannot even fathom how much people love me. Because sometimes I'm thinking, wow, I deserve this, you know, and I know I do today. You know, I started dealing with the trauma of the old life. I started, you know, going to other fellowships of, you know, childhood things. And, you know, when I started recognizing, you know, the stuff, and today I know that I can't change any of that. No matter how hard I tried back in the day, I could not change any of it. And the thing is what got me the best is acceptance. Acceptance of what it was, acceptance of working on it, you know, getting in the middle of the boat and just living life. Today I don't want to kill myself. Today I don't want to be outside of the women in this room, because these women have held me up through a lot. You know, I found my passions. You know, I love myself today. And I know that I'm worth this today. You know, just sharing with, you know, ladies, my talent of the sound bowls, and I'm so spiritual today. Like, I mean, I believe in God, yes, but I'm not religious. Like, I am so connected spiritually that it's incredible. I was raised Southern Baptist, so you can imagine being gay and crazy on drugs. So you can imagine how well that went. So with my family, so that didn't go well for a very long time. Now I will have to say today, they love my wife very much. But you know, I got married in recovery to my best friend. We will be married 3 years in August. It seems like this 5 years has gone by so fast, but it's been the most incredible time of my life. And I wouldn't change it for anything. You know, I give back. I sponsor women. Right now it's a bit hard because I'm in hurricane season at my job, so you know, but I am willing to sponsor whoever needs it. I literally can't believe that I've made it this far. Like, I live in gratitude daily, because there's so much in this life to be grateful for. You know, I was scared to death when I moved out here because I didn't know very many people. But I'm going to tell you, this entire group of women, you're all my family. like the family that I have needed. I do have a sponsor who is not able to be here tonight. But I'm going to tell you that woman has walked me through all of these steps. She has the most wisdom I've ever seen in my life. And she didn't let go. She didn't let go, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, you know, at all, by all means, at all. But you know, this is my family. Like, I thought I would really, I miss my family back home, but you all have stepped in to be there for me. And our kids, I have 3 incredible kids, 2 left out of Tony, and then 1 out of me. And I'm going to tell you, that child of mine today is my very best friend. She loved me like no other, and she never gave up on me. I hurt her so deeply. I was always leaving her, and that was really hard for her for a very long time. But she is an incredible kid. She has epilepsy, which was very hard for many years, but now she's all under control and living her life, her best life. You know, sometimes I would question God, like, why do certain things happen, or why? Because I know she doesn't deserve that. It just is, and you know, and it was acceptance of what it is. You know, I'm so grateful. My bonus children adore me. I adore them. Like, there's so many gifts of this program. Just gift after gift after gift. And no, life is not perfect, and there's some hard crap that comes up. But today I know how to handle it differently. Today I don't have to go back out and use and drink and numb all of whatever is happening. But I do know how to handle those things today. You know, these women that have been here from the beginning, I'm so grateful for them. Helen, you are one of my best friends now, and you're incredible, and you teach me so much. I love you all. Thank you.